Well, I'd like to welcome everyone to the broadcast of the Metro Northeast State Fours final here at Club Belrose. I'll discuss the weather conditions with you in a moment. They're pretty extreme right now. We've had the semi-finals this morning. I'll tell you more about those as well. But just started the first end now. This is still a trial end here, so I'll chat on whilst they're doing their second trial end. Weather conditions here, we're currently looking at about 31 degrees, thereabouts. Fairly strong, gusty, blustery nor'wester, and with gusts that are probably strong enough to blow away the gazebo that I'm standing under. But we'll hopefully get through the afternoon. There is a little bit of rain in the forecast as well, so if it rains, we'll have a bit of an issue to deal with, but bear with me. It's been a lot of organising to get to this stage. It's been a great event, great weekend. Yesterday was superb bowls. All the rounds that were played at other clubs have now merged here to play at Belrose for the final this afternoon. We have 4 finals here this afternoon. We have the state women, the senior women, the state men, and the senior men, and we're in for some good bowls. I'll keep you informed as often as I can with the other rinks as to how they're going, and I can tell you right now the senior men is Mona Vale versus Harbord, Blackwood versus Lecky, and the senior women is Sawtell Vicky Bartrop. That's Newport versus St Ives, and the state women is Mika Fox versus Longfellow. That's Mona Vale versus Harbord, and I'll tell you some interesting statistics about the Mona Vale girls as we go along. And the one that we're going to be recording mainly on the main rink here, the live rink, is the state men, and we've got Cleaver versus Campton. That's Pittwater versus Belrose. So they're all pretty strong players, pretty strong teams, and my papers are all blowing away before I even get going, and I expect to see some great bowls here this afternoon. I'll put that under there. Thank you. Alright. Yes, there'll be a few occasional crises here as a gust of wind comes and blows stuff around, but we'll all deal with that. Okay, with the teams that we have, on the main camera here for the state men, we've got for Pittwater, we've got McDermott, Powell, Crossan and Cleaver, Michael Cleaver, and they had a big win this morning against the Lane Cove boys, Kinsman, Bonthrone, Lloyd and Marshall. It was a real battle at the end, and could have gone either way for most of the game, but at the end Michael Cleaver got home. And so Cleaver is playing Campton from Belrose, and Campton's got Steve Lowe, Steve Kerr, James Brown and John Campton himself. Belrose, pretty hot Belrose team. We'd expect some good results out of them. And they had a big win over Asquith this morning, Bridgman, Thompson, Chen and Burrows. So both these teams had good wins this morning in the semi-finals. The green is running lightning fast at this point. We've had very little rain here in Sydney for weeks now, and we did a quick test of this green this morning. It was running at 17.5 odd seconds this morning. It's probably actually running half a second or more quicker than that this afternoon. Could be anywhere 18, 19. And we have a strong gusty nor'wester, so the two combined are making for an extremely challenging day's bowls. Any bowl that gets within a metre of the jack, I would call it be a good bowl today. But these people all have skills that I don't have, and we'll probably see a lot better than that as we go along. Okay, they're finished. Well, the skips are now about to do their roll-up, and then we'll get into the first end. We're finally starting. It's a late start because of the conditions and because one of the games didn't finish till quite late before lunch, and they were on this green. So look, we'll get underway finally by 2 o'clock. The other games on this green have already started. So it's now 1:45, 1:45, and we're about to get underway on the main rink. So the other rinks are already well underway. This match is going to be live streamed on both Facebook and YouTube, so you can take your choice. Facebook will be the Metro Northeast Facebook page, you'll see that, and YouTube, the handle is at Metro Northeast Bowls, all one word, Metro NE, I should say, Metro NE Bowls is the handle, at Metro NE Bowls. If you want to look for us there, you'll find us there. We're about to start end one, so I'll save my comments right now until they're underway, and then we'll talk some more. Alright, Jack's been delivered, and Macca has put his first bowl down. As I said before, just be aware of the conditions here. Some of these bowls are going to look a bit weird. These guys all have the skills to be deadly bowlers, but the wind and the fast green are making life very challenging. Steve Lowe is coming in from way out east there on this, where they're heading. They're bowling south right now, north-south. And Steve's bowl's got lovely weight. And look at that, it's still going. They just don't want to stop. Yeah, I reckon this green is currently running at a good 19 and a half seconds right now. It's quickened up since this morning significantly. Um, the wind is gusting around, and it's sort of northwesterly, so in this direction they're bowling towards the south right now. It'll be hard to stop the bowls, and bowling in the other direction, it'll be extra effort required to get there. Steve Lowe's bowl here, great bowl, but as you'll see, it'll be well through. Michael Powell's got a very well pointed bowl here. What a bowl, excellent result. Steve Kerr's got a good reply here. Bit of high clouds moving in, which is actually pleasant. The sun was incredibly hot, and the temperature, as I said, was very high. Humidity is very low, so a classic Sydney nor'wester. But the bit of cloud up there is making life much more comfortable for the players. We're still playing the first end here, so I'll put the scoreboard up as soon as I have some scores to put in there. Right now, Pittwater certainly holding the shot. Beautiful bowl there from Michael Powell, their second. On the rink beside us here we have the State Ladies Fours final as well. Very interesting lineup of players in that match. We've got Mona Vale versus Harbord. Harbord are four very experienced ladies. Jane Gibson, Jenny Roberts, Chris Gordon and Virginia Longfellow. A lot of wins to their names, a lot of history to their names. They're major players in our region. And they're up against four youngsters, Senya Abbenbrook, Cassie Hummelstadt, Vicky Wyeth and Tiff Mika Cox. Now the interesting thing there is that Tiff, the average bowling age of the Mona Vale girls, that means how long they've been bowling for, is 8 months. They're all brand new newbies, which is fantastic for the sport, fantastic for Mona Vale. The average bowling age of the Harbord girls is 18 years. So we've got the wise old hands playing the brand newbies, and it should be a great game. The young girls, when I say young, I'm talking about bowling age here, not their actual age. They are young by most bowling standards, but they're not teenagers by any means. They're in uncharted territory for themselves, so this is a big experience for them. Tiff actually was a part of the Mona Vale Grade 1 team this year, so she's come on board, hit the straps flying. She's a very talented bowler, and it's great to see her here in the final of this game. So that's just an interesting aside about the women's state finals here. We'll talk more about it as the afternoon progresses. So Pittwater held onto that shot in the first end, and the second end has now started. Beautiful starting bowl there from Macca, Pete McDermott. And that goes to show how difficult the conditions here actually are. Beautiful first bowl, second bowl in the ditch. It's very hard to control, particularly on a long end like this. Steve Lowe delivers his bowl. That will get him the shot. Very good bowl. Unusual delivery there. Michael likes to touch the ground before he lets the bowl go. But with results like that, you can see why he does it. Steve Kerr on the mat for Belrose. Great bowl there from Steve Kerr. It's got to be close for shot. I haven't heard or seen any indication. Michael Cleaver is giving him a guide. This is what he wants. Paul Crossan on the mat here. Whoops, we've had a camera fall over, as you can see. I better go and attend to that. We're really having some extreme conditions here. I hope we can keep this live stream going. If the wind picks up a lot more, it's going to be very hard to do just that. I saw that. Okay, so we now are back with three cameras again. Bit of a shorter end this end. And I might have to go up the other end again to the other camera with another twisty tie and tie it to the seat so it doesn't blow over again. So we've got two shots after two ends. Okay, back on air again. I've just been off to get some more twisty ties and I'm going to try and tie that camera down at the other end. So I apologise for going off air for a few moments there, but we'll get it sorted out. James Brown on the mat for Belrose. And I'll give you some scores from the other games very soon too. And Paul Crossan on the mat. Quite a good crowd of spectators here today. We have the four finals. 4 different clubs represented as well, which also is good to see. Once again, apologies for the noisy microphone noises. Michael Cleaver pushed that bowl in for shot, I would suggest. And they could be holding a couple here. Johnny Campton coming down. Just going to drift through, only the smallest amount. Well, I'm not too sure who's got that. Looks like there were two to Belrose in the end. And Steve Lowe has put the mat right back behind the tee, on the tee behind, changing the length a bit. The challenge here is to keep the jack on the green. Looks like he's judged that very well. Nearly a full tee to tee, but a couple of metres short. While they're putting their first bowls down, I'll give you an update of the other matches here. The senior men's game here, Mona Vale versus Harbord. After 4 ends, it looks like Mona Vale are 5, Harbord 2. Steve Smith seems to be holding 2 shots here for Harbord, so good start from Harbord here. The women's seniors, St Ives are up 6-1 over Newport after 3 ends. And the women's state, Harbord are up 3-2 over Mona Vale after 3 ends. Very close game there. So look, it's early days yet. And while I was away giving you updates, looks like Steve Lowe has peppered the jack with his first bowl. He's got his second bowl coming in right now. And he won't be unhappy with that. That's a fantastic opening salvo. Now Macca's up to it though. And Macca has a great response here. Great response. Got the shot with that. Another great bowl from Michael Powell. James Brown having a bit of a run here, but going to fade away. In the end, missed everything. Lovely bowl here from Paul Crossan. Let's see what James Brown can do here. Having another run. Well, he shook up the head a bit, but they're still down. Michael Cleaver's saying Pittwater a holding shot. Great bowl here from John Campton. Oh yes, fell in for shot too. A big statement there by a big bloke. So Michael Cleaver is going to probably use some weight here. I'm not too sure what his plan is. No, he's actually trying to be a bit more delicate than that, and he's going to try and draw in there, but he's probably going to go under. Too delicate. I think their problem really is if he hits it, the jack's going back and they're no better off. So it's really a matter of take your medicine and move on. Very delicate delivery there from Michael. Probably not a bad line, but I don't know if it'll come all the way back. Not with that westerly wind, it'll hold it out there a bit. One shot there to Belrose. Belrose 3-2 up after 4. Once again, it's probably about a metre short of tee to tee. Good start there from Steve Lowe. Roughly jack high, just a fraction, maybe a foot short. Pete McDermott coming in, beautiful line here, just fraction heavy, beautiful bowling. Big shout out to all the clubs here in the Metro Northeast region that have been hosting these events. The generosity of the clubs is appreciated by the players and by the region management. We've had Mona Vale, we've got Mossman, Chatswood, Harbord, Belrose, amongst many others that have contributed this season. Lane Cove have also contributed, so it's been a pretty good year for clubs putting their greens up for region and state events. Comes at some cost to the clubs as well this time of the year, because most of these clubs have greens out for annual maintenance, and so when we play on the Saturday, it limits our social bowlers' ability to bowl. But there's certainly generous clubs. It's starting to rain here. We have a bit of a shower coming down. At this point in time, I'm okay under a gazebo, but with the wind blowing, we'll see what happens. Conditions are quite bizarre, really. Hot, gusty, and now rainy. And I can hear thunder. Well, there'll be some rain. Not as heavy as it looks on the radar as it's going to be down the south coast, but certainly there's going to be some rain. So let's see how the afternoon pans out. Steve Lowe probably holding shot here. Michael Powell is probably second shot. from where I'm sitting. With this bowl, he may well get the shot. Oh, they're willing it on. That'll be shot to Michael Powell. Well, Paul Crossan put that out on an extremely wide line. I'd be surprised if it comes all the way back from there. But if he's putting in a position bowl, perhaps. No, it's good weight, but it's just a metre wide. Okay, so Paul's narrowed his line down a bit, just as well, because he would have had a head-on collision with a bowl going the other way. So if he's got the same weight, no, he's dropped the weight, otherwise it would have been very, very close. Still, Pittwater holding the one shot here. Johnny Campton on the mat. That small shower of fairly large drops of rain that came in very briefly, although it's still sprinkling now as I speak, it probably has changed the pace of the greens just a fraction, which is going to mean that they'll have to be aware that it's not the same as it was half an hour ago. On the other hand, it's very warm still, air temperature wise, so it's going to evaporate as fast as it falls. But you'll notice they're all falling a bit short right now. There's Michael Cleaver, a few metres short. Johnny Campton's having a run here. It's going to fade away, but it hasn't finished yet. Oh, he took the shot bowl out. It's interesting. It could well be a Belrose shot now. See what the call is. Yeah, the call is 2 down to Pittwater. Very effective drive, with a bit of luck involved, of course, as always. But let's see what Michael can do here, Michael Cleaver. He's got a pretty good bowl here. It's going to be close, but I don't know if he stayed in. It was a lovely bowl by Michael, but it just kept running. Just went too far. One there to Belrose. Two, 4 on 5. I mean, considering the conditions they're bowling under, it's a pretty amazing looking bowls being put down here. I think Steve's... Oh yes, it'll stop. This is full T to T. Steve Lowe on the mat here. Great start there from Steve. And Macca beat McDermott. Beautiful ball there from Macca. He won't want that back. Very, very good bowling. It's worth mentioning also that John Campton, the skipper in the Belrose team, is the greenkeeper here at Belrose. So he knows these greens very well. They've been superbly prepared by himself and Joey Saragossa, who helps him out here now. Joey being the greenkeeper here for many, many years. So two very experienced greenkeepers. Great bowl there again from Steve Lowe, but I think Macca might still hold the shot. Another great bowl by Macca, Peter McDermott. Michael Powell next in line for the Pittwater guys. Steve Kerr is bowling now for Belrose. Oh, a bit unfortunate there. The beautiful bowl by Steve Kerr. He pushed Steve Lowe's bowl in, but sliced the jack right back hard onto Macca's first bowl. If you look at these conditions and look at those 4 bowls, you'd wonder why it was so hard. Michael Powell here has got a good track. I think he's a bit took the weight off and being blown across the green there.
Just look overhead, one down.
We We have a good crowd of spectators here from all the clubs, as I mentioned before, but they're all starting to wander away a bit now because the weather's getting too difficult. A lot of rain now and wind. Temperature's dropped to about 24, 25 degrees. So a big front moving through, obviously. Let's hope we get this game completed. James Brown here going in with a little bit of extra weight. It'll be hard to control it though in the wind. Oh, he's done well. He's done very well. Wow. I can't see who's holding from here. May well be an umpire's measure. No, Michael Cleaver says Pittwater are still holding. He's coming in on a good line here. Now he's going to run into trouble. That wind appears to have swung around to the southwest at this point. John Campton running with some weight. Oh, we didn't quite see the result, but it looks as though the head wasn't changed or disturbed at all. Well, John Campton's going down to have an inspection of the head. I'll take this break to give you an update of the other matches that we've got running here this afternoon. In the men's senior fours, Mona Vale 5, Harbord 6 after 7. That's a tight start for both teams. In the women's senior fours, St Ives 6, Newport are back to 5 now, so another very tight game. Newport fighting back after a slow start. And in the women's state fours, Harbord are up 9-5 after 6 ends over Mona Vale. Another close game. No. Well, it's going down to an umpire's measure here on the rink, the TV rink. The Jack Mountains was moved quite a bit throughout that end, and funnily enough, it kept going back to Pittwater. So we'll wait and see what the umpire has to say here. Not sure who got that. It was 1 to Pittwater. So one more to Pittwater. 3-4. After 6 ends. Good start there from Macca. Good weight. winners of these 4 finals, and there's a 5th one next weekend for the Open Reserves, all will progress to the state championships in Dubbo next June. So there's a lot to play for here. Chance to play for your region at the state championships. It's a very important time for bowlers, state championships. So they're all very keen, very competitive. You might hear the wind in the microphone. I'm assuming you will. It's really blustery and gusty. Strong front moving through Sydney right now. Another beautiful bowl there from Michael Powell. It looks to me like the shot could still be Steve Lowe, the first bowl. But I'm not that close to the head. But it must be Steve Lowe there, jack high almost. So Bill Rose in fact could be holding 2 here. In case you're wondering what all the flapping and noise banging going on is, I'm under a gazebo here, and the gazebo is just going berserk. So we're hanging on for dear life here. It could be a cyclone coming through. I don't know. This is nothing else. We're recording all this for posterity. Serious stuff. go through here. Thanks. Okay, I found myself somewhere a little bit perhaps more delicate to stand under. The rain at least is gone, but there's a really strong gale blowing. Alright, enough of the weather. Big shot here from Michael Cleaver, bit of weight. It didn't succeed in changing very much there. Bill Rose holding 2 shots there. And Johnny Campton putting in a bit of protection at the back. It was a hard head to get into the conditions, even under any conditions. That's a very difficult head to get into. So Michael did a good job there. Now Johnny Campton coming in here with a beautiful, beautiful looking bowl. What a bowl. That could be still only 2 to Bill Rose, I think. I'm not sure. No, they're going to have a look at it. Two, yes. 2 more to Bill Rose. Going full length again. The jack roll was not good enough, and it's coming back. Yeah, short-ish end, wrong line there. That looks like the right line. Good start there from Pete McDermott. Well, that'll be shot. Steve Kerr. Great bowl again from Michael Powell. Just went through a bit more than he hoped, but it was still a great bowl. An even better bowl from Steve Kerr. 2 shots he's holding for Belrose. Good correction on the line for Michael Powell, but still ran on further than he would have hoped. Excellent bowling from Paul Crossan. That'll give him the shot. Well, James Brown may well have stolen it back. It's very close there. Yep, I think. I think Belrose might be holding shot there, courtesy of James Brown. Lovely looking bowl here from Johnny Campton. That's a beautiful bowl. Yep. 2 shots there to Bill Rose at this point. Well, Michael just took out a whole lot of his own bowls. We didn't see the shot, unfortunately, because the players were in front of the camera, but you could see the result. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, I would say, maybe even 5 Bill Rose bowls there. But here comes Johnny Campton in again. Bit of cover behind. Because Michael Cleaver probably won't miss the second time. Oh, wow. It was a narrow drive. Hit one of the wing bowls and then took the jack out of bounds. A good result though for Pittwater. Great result for Pittwater. Killed the end. Alright, so they've chosen to replay the killed end from the original, in the original direction. There are lots of good reasons for doing that. Certainly Bill Rose will have felt comfortable bowling in that direction from the last end. So, but this time they're playing a short end. So everything's changed up. So let's wait and see what happens now that we've got a short end. This is the shortest end for a while. The Matt's back on the tee, but the jack is very short. In the state women's fours, Mona Vale 7 down 7-13 to Harbord. And in the senior women's fours, St Ives are up 12-8 over Newport. And in the senior men's fours, Harbord are 11-5 up over Mona Vale after 10 ends. So that all of these matches are still pretty close. Some teams are poking their noses in front, but long way to go yet. Looks like Steve Lowe here is all over the jack again. Paul Crossan has a good bowl coming in here, if it gets there. Yes. Could be second shot, I'd say. Maybe not. It's hard to tell from the other end of the green. Lovely bowl there from John Campton, jack high. Steve Lowe is certainly holding shot, and it could be close for second, but I think it's only the one shot for Belrose right now. Well, that was a beautiful shot there from Michael Cleaver. Took the shot bowl straight out, so now it's possibly one shot to... I'll have a look from this end of the green. I'm now the other end of the green. No, it's still Steve Lowe's in there with a second shot. Well, if Michael Cleaver could remove that other blue bowl there, he'll be holding at least 2 shots. He's very well pointed here, from what I can see, but he's got the jack. No, he hasn't. A gust of wind literally stopped that. He would have had the jack square, I think. One to Belrose by the looks of that. Free 7 after 8, as I see it, and the scoreboard agrees with me. Lovely bowl there from Steve Lowe. Jack high, probably half a metre, 2 feet off the jack. This is a very long end again, back to almost T to T. Great bowl there from Michael Powell. Jack high, and that's definitely the shot. Steve Kerr will be hoping to correct his last bowl. I think he's done a pretty good job. That was a perfect bowl, beautiful bowl. Good correction from his first bowl, which was wayward. Great result. Well, there's the perfect bowl. Paul Crossan. We thought the previous bowl was perfect. That's even more perfect. So he's sitting on the jack there, resting toucher. Beautiful shot. We'll probably see a bit of weight here. He's not far away. He may get the gap. Oh no. Oh, the crowd goes wild. He just picked that bowl straight off the jack, didn't touch the jack. Heartbreaking stuff for Paul Crossan. A beautiful reply, beautiful bowl. Really superb bowling by all these guys. Michael Cleaver having a big run at this. Didn't change anything. Big run again. He's going to fade away this time. One shot there to Belrose. 8-3. after 9 ends. Stephen Lowe there. Looks like my far camera has gone on a tilt. I better go and straighten that up. Yeah, it looks like a sudden gust of wind has ripped this camera. I had it cable tied down, but it's now standing on an angle, so I'll straighten that back up. That looks better. There we are. Seems to be back on the horizontal there. I felt like I was on a ship and we were listing badly to starboard. Lovely bowl there from Stephen Kerr. Great reply there from Michael Powell, but he just didn't pick up the jack as he squeezed by. There's a great home there for Steve Kerr. Beautiful line. That juddering you can see on the picture, that's the camera being buffeted by the wind down that at the northern end of the rink here. That vicious wind. Oh, great bowl here from Michael Powell. Unfortunately for him, Steve Kerr still has the shot, but he's exposed the jack. It's an easier shot now for the Pittwater boys. A little bit over enthusiastic there from James Brown. I'm sure he didn't want to lose it in the ditch. Paul Crosson's got a very good looking bowl coming in here. No, squeezed by as well. And also in the ditch. I mean, it's very, very hard up there because the jack's basically on the tee line, and with that howling gale coming across from the west, it literally, from your looking at it as the viewers, it's from your right to left. It's almost impossible to stop a bowl coming in from that hand. Here comes Paul again, coming in, really being wind driven there. So hard to stop a ball. Stayed up that one, but he would have thought that it would have stopped well before that. Now these games are played to 21 ends, for those of you that don't follow a lot of bowls. With the exception of the women's senior fours, they're being played to only 18 ends. So I'll that bowl was almost blown in a straight line down there, and it was picked up by the adjacent rink and sent back to be redelivered. Well, it's coming back now, but it'll end up in the drink, I think. Yes. Well, definitely second shot there to Pittwater.
I'll get the other ones, Andy. So, Andy.
This won't change their head at all. Stephen Kerr still sitting there with the shot. One more there to Belrose. I was distracted with something else going on, but one more, so it's 9-3 now after 10 ends. And I'll give you an update while they're starting off on this new end. I'll give you an update on the other three finals being played here today. The State Women's, Harbord versus Mona Vale. After 12 ends, Harbord are 17 up. Mona Vale 10-17 to Harbord. The senior women's has got very tight, 12 all after 11 ends, so there's a real arm wrestle going on there. And the senior men's, Harbord 16-5 over Mona Vale after 12 ends. So Mona Vale have some work to do in the senior men's. While I've been talking to you, it looks like Pete McDermott here is holding shot. Pittwater, just a fraction short of Jack High. Slight pause here while Steve Kerr on the mat is trying to hold himself vertical in that howling gale. He's delivered a good looking bowl though. Might be a fraction heavy and narrow. Lovely bowl here from Michael Powell. That'll be the shot. Great shot there from Stephen Kerr. Beautiful draw to the jack. Cassie. There is more rain on the radar coming in. I don't know when it's going to hit here. Depends on what happens when that hits, if it hits. The game is a long way to go yet. I did mention to you at the start of the broadcast that an interesting fact is that with the state women's final here today, that the Mona Vale team is full of a lot of new bowlers. They're all novice bowlers. Their average time at bowls, the average for the Mona Vale team is 8 months. I also mentioned that the average experience level bowls age of the Harbord team was 18 years. So very experienced team, the Harbord ladies over the Mona Vale ladies. But another interesting fact that is worth noting is that Cassie Hummelstadt, who's playing in the Mona Vale team, who's only been bowling for about 6 months or thereabouts, her father, Rocket, is playing in the men's senior. So we've got father and daughter here, both Hummelstadts, playing in the men's senior fours final and in the women's state fours final. So that's a pretty interesting and good thing to see, father and daughter playing in the same finals, not in the same matches, but it would be truly amazing if they both got up and we both had to go to Dubbo next year, but a long way to go before that happens yet. Discussion going on here between Michael Cleaver and Paul Crossan. Very good ball there from Michael Cleaver, just missed the jack. Well, we have an interesting incident here. The jack got blown away by the wind, and they've called the umpire for a decision on what should happen next, and we'll be guided by the umpire's decision. But that's a pretty rare event for having the jack blown off the tee. So the umpire will undoubtedly sort that out with them. Well, they're still discussing what should happen here, and we'll take a bit of a break in the meantime. Okay, they seem to have sorted it out now, so
They didn't apply. Yes.
alright, they seem to have sorted out the issue, replaced the jack where it was, and the skips have agreed. Stephen Kerr has a beautiful bowl coming in here. Quite superb blow. So Belrose holding 2 on that head. I think Michael is telling Paul here to have a run, and if if he's successful, it will almost certainly kill the end. He's not far away. Well, another amazing bowl. Just picked the shot bowl straight off the jack, didn't touch the jack. Amazing bowling. There's a lot of luck involved in that sort of shot, but you've got to have the bowl in the right area to do it. James Brown coming in here. A very handy bowl. Very handy bowl. That'll be the shot for sure. So Paul's having another run here. And he missed that time, unfortunately for him. We still have a sizable crowd here. Oh, another great bowl. Wow. We might see another drive here. Certainly there are a few bowls there in the head for Belrose. 2 down is the call from the head end. Well, a bit wild that one. Well, after all that end, a lot of discussions with the umpire and all the rest of it, Belrose ended up with 2 shots. 12-3 now after 12 ends. The State fours, Mona Vale versus Hardboard. Mona Vale have fought right back. There are only 2 shots in it. 15 to Mona Vale, 17 to Hardboard after 14 ends. Anybody's game there. The young guns and the old guns. Great bowl by Macca here, and he's just about a foot off the jack, 18 inches off the jack. Steve Lowe's correction is a little bit light on weight. The senior women's at 14 to St Ives, 12 to Newport after 13 ends. And then the senior men's, it's Hardboard 18, Mona Vale 7 after 15 ends. So the senior women, as I said, only play 18 ends. And they've already played 13 of them. Lovely bowl there from Steve Kerr, but probably not shot. Macca might still have it. Well, Steve Kerr's bowl just fell over, as you probably saw on the screen, and that could have given him the shot now, or almost certainly gave him the shot now. Crowd's going wild over here. There's a lot of excitement about this women's game. The State women's. Quite a few Mona Vale supporters getting quite vocal. And it's a big end, I think, for Mona Vale. They've pulled 4 bowls out of the head for Mona Vale. They're measuring for 5 here. A big end for the girls. Five. Looks at that. Big end for the girls. 5 to the Mona Vale girls. As you might hear, the crowd go wild. The beautiful bowl here on our rink, James Brown, just sitting inside Stephen Kerr there. It's all go, go, go around here. Ball across and running for cover. We might see a bit of weight here from Michael Cleaver. Well, no, we're not. He's going to try the delicate way first. Michael Cleaver still feels he can get in there with a draw, but can't see this bowl doing it. Looks like two to Belrose. Two to Belrose. Thank you. 2 to Belrose. 14-3 on after 13. Well, it's game on here for the state women. Little bit of a wayward start there from Steve Lowe. Pete McDermott has a good looking bowl here. Fraction short, but definitely the shot at this point. Two good bowls there from Pete McDermott. Well, they've got the jacks surrounded, but I think Pete McDermott still has the actual shot up there. The club members are now going around the greens, pulling in all the awnings. They've been pretty beaten around by the wind this afternoon, and they're no longer required. There's no sunshine there, and no point having the wind tear them and damage them. Ball crossing's a bit heavy here, going through. So that original bowl of Pete McDermott still seems to be the one that I think is holding shot. It's at the other end of the green from here, so I can only see what you can see in the camera there. That bowl on the right of the jack, just short of jack high, I believe is the shot bowl. Michael Cleaver We'll try and get very close here. He's just left it a bit short. It's been a very trying afternoon. You probably can tell from my commentary that there's a lot going on here weather-wise, and very hard to get some continuity going. Comes John Campton running at that, but going through a hole. Alright, one more shot there to Pittwater. I'll be happy to have the mat again. It's been a long time between drinks. 14-4 after 14 ends. Now they'll be looking to capitalise and change the length to suit them. Well, the Mona Vale girls are on a bit of a roll here. Another big hit for the Mona Vale ladies, girls we'll call them. 23-17 now after 16 to Mona Vale. So the young guns are firing. And the senior men Well, the senior men's fours have now been completed. The Mona Vale guys were on 9, the Harbord guys were on 22, and they called it quits after 18 ends. So we look forward to seeing the Mona Vale team up at the championships in Dubbo next June, and there'll be a present. I think I misspoke there. It's the Harbord team that were up, as I said, 22-9 over Mona Vale. It'll be the Harbord boys who are heading up to Dubbo. And Paul Leckie, the skip there. They'll be pleased about that. Their third there, Steve Ashdown, is an old campaigner. He's been around for a long time and he's been to many championships. The lead the lead, the senior lead there, Steve Smith, and Mark Delia was second. Steve Smith's also a very well-capped region bowler. So congratulations to the Hardboard boys. Big win. Just had a minor disaster with a gazebo I'm standing under and just about tried to blow across the green. Yeah, so we've got 3 finals still going here. Mona Vale are in the ascendancy for the women's, which would be a huge result for the young guns. They're young in bowling age. And the senior women's is an arm wrestle right through to the end. I would suggest both those teams are very experienced and competent teams. And Steve Lowe has just put 2 beautiful bowls on the jack on the TV rink that we're looking at. Great reply here from Michael. Beautiful bowl. Stunning bowl. So he just took those 2 beautiful shots away from Stephen Lowe. That bowl of Michael Powell's is going to be very hard to remove. He's just dragged that jack away from Stephen Kerr and is in a very, very good position behind Kerr's bowls. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. It's really a draw shot, drawing just around Stephen Lowe's short bowl. Brownie's got a very good line here. I think he's done it. Brilliant bowl. And he went right through with it too. So certainly one shot there back to Belrose. This goes to show that this end we've seen 2 absolutely magic draw bowls under shocking conditions. So these bowlers really are highly skilled. James got another huge bowl coming in here. Just top first class bowling. Well, Michael had a run at that unsuccessfully. And I'm sure that John Campton will be trying to just draw in there without increasing the target size significantly, which I think he's done perfectly. Well, 3 Belrose bowls in there. It's a tempting target, but he's going to really just play for the draw shot. If he's got the weight, it's a good line, but I think it's well, his weight's not bad, but he's going to be short. It's short. Another well-pointed bowl here from John Campton. 4 shots that'll be. Four to Belrose. That's a blow, a body blow for Pittwater. A little bit short there by Steve Lowe. Lovely bowl here from Pete McDermott, but it's just really getting blown. In fact, I think I thought it had stopped at the jack, but it blew another 2 metres past the jack. So it's very tricky for the guys. Great correction there from Pete McDermott. Got the shot. A little bit heavy from Michael here, but great line and great position to leave that bowl. And Stephen Kerr's bowl went through to the ditch. He won't be happy with that. There have been a few of those today. Quality bowl there from James Brown. But I'm pretty sure Pete McDermott's still holding the shot. Got a bit unlucky. It wasn't a bad bowl. Good drive. Harbord are fighting back in the state women final, and the senior women's final is over. senior women's final just finished. Newport's won that one, 16-18. So they're off to Dubbo next June. There'll be a presentation there. So there are just two finals left running here, the men's state and the women's state. Congratulations to the Harbord men for winning the seniors men and to the Newport women for winning the senior women's fours. Crowd's gone wild. That was a women's game shout. And the Vale's skip there, Tiff. She's been on fire. Well, Michael Cleaver here is trying a bit of weight, but I think it'll stay up. So one more there, I believe, to Belrose. One more to Belrose there, 19-4. After 16 ends. I think the alarm bells are ringing here for Fittwater. 5 ends to go. With 15 shots the margin, they need some big ends. Good start there from Steve Lowe. Jack high, 18 inches off the jack. We've had some volunteers now to remove these gazebos that were getting blown badly and were in danger of being blown across the green, in fact. So I'm hoping the rain, if there is any rain, I'm hoping the rain holds off until the end of these matches. Lovely bowl here from Pete McDermott. Beautiful bowl, that's the shot. Steve Kerr's bowl did stay up. Yeah, great correction here from Steve Kerr. Take the shot there. A little bit heavy here from James Brown. Lost it in the ditch. He won't be happy with that. Well, two pretty solid drives there from Paul Crossan. Neither made contact. A lot of pressure here on Michael Cleaver. Bit of weight here behind, well, I'm not too sure if he didn't give the shot away there. I know. Paul Crossan says that Belrose are still holding.
Good, mate, David. Roll that jack.
Another one coming in here from John Campton. Beautiful bowl. Beautiful bowl. Looks like Belrose is certainly holding one, probably two. You know, Michael Cleaver's got a good line here. Depends on, he might just fade away now. Go through the gap. That's a unfortunate shot. Two shots there. And they've thrown in the towel. So at this point it looks like Belrose have won the state men's fours championship in Metro Northeast. in atrocious conditions, I must say. And we'll transfer our attention now to the women's final closing ends. And we can see the women's game going there. We'll watch the last few ends here. Mona Vale girls playing the Harbord girls. Mona Vale certainly had a strong final half of this game.
Thank you, mate. Give me 1 second. Just trying to get the live stream on these guys.
Okay, so I've got the final few ends here of the women's state fours, and at this point Mona Vale 26, Harbord 18 after 19 ends. We'll just work our way down the green here and just watch out for the camera there. No, it's not on now. It's not active. I'm good. Thanks. Okay, we seem to have a bit of a focus issue on one of these cameras, but we'll persevere with it for the time being. So this is Vicky Wyeth on the mat right now. Mona Vale third. Sorry, that was a completely wrong statement. That was the Mona Vale lead. Unless they've changed the teams around, my bit of paper's all wrong. Okay, that was Senya before, who was on the lead, the Mona Vale lead, and now we've got Cassie Hammelstadt. Mona Vale third coming in. Bear in mind these girls have all got very little experience, been bowling, most of them for less than a year. In fact, all of them for less than a year. So it's great to see them here, and it's great to see them succeeding. Chris Gordon there, the Harbord third, very experienced campaigner. She's won most everything over her career, so she's certainly one of the most significant female bowlers in this region. So you got the Mona Vale team is Senya Abbenbrook, Vicky Wyeth, Cassie Hammelstadt, and Tiff Mika Cox. And the Harbord girls are Jane Gibson, Jenny Roberts, Chris Gordon, and Virginia Longfellow. So we'll watch the last few ends here. Right now, this is Tiff Mika Cox on the mat. Very smooth, easy delivery she's got too. Junior Longfellow coming in, another very experienced, very successfully accoladed bowler, if there is such a word as accoladed. So they're looking at the head here. Well, they're already 8 shots ahead, and if Mona Vale win this end, that would be the end of the match. Yes, the shot went to Mona Vale. They're the champions. Well, that's a fantastic result for the region. 4 brand new bowlers with a lot of talent, and they'll go a long way, I'm sure. Yes, it's a bit heartbreak for the Harbord ladies, and I understand that, but you can't be unhappy to see that the mantle, if you like, handed over to the youngsters. Well done to all of them, and it's been a great day's bowls here, even though I apologise for the stop-start nature of it. The weather's been really having a huge impact on not just the game, but also the broadcast that I've been doing and other things I've been doing. But I'd like to thank you all for listening, thank you all for watching, and we've got the 4 teams now who are going up to Dubbo next June for the state championships. There'll be one more final next weekend, that's the Open Reserves, may not be live streamed. Anyway, goodbye from now. Stephen Mars here from Belrose.